There's a certified coach in New Jersey that has a 2.7 DUPR rating.
Isn't like if you open a pickleball facility, aren't you going to automatically make millions of dollars?
That's exactly how it works.
Ah! Yo, this is bull.
I'm running away with it here.
Guess we're starting?
Yeah. All right, I'm ready.
First podcast ever.
This is it.
This is it. This is the Speed Up with Matt and Aaron. Pickleball is moving at rapid pace. We want to help everybody stay up to date on how the sport is growing, on what to learn about how to navigate your pickleball journey, and frankly, how to speed up the progress on your game.
We live and breathe it, so this is what we do. I don't think there was one moment today that I wasn't thinking about pickleball, which is kind of the crazy thing. But we don't get sick of it. We're in this community, we're in this space, we're playing every day, we're coaching every day, we're in the pickleball online communities every day. So this is just what we do, and that's, we love it, that's why we do it. And at the end of the day, if you can get a little bit better from what we're gonna tell you, then our job is done, so.
Matt, what do you think are something most players aren't thinking about but can instantly make them better?
If you had to break it down in a couple things, we coached all these players, and I feel like there's a few things that you could say most players at 4-0 and under are not paying enough attention to. I think one glaring thing, is footwork, and you can always tell. Maybe they weren't like a tennis player, they didn't really learn the proper racket sport footwork, the way you gotta move your feet when you're playing a paddle sport or racket sport, and their heels are glued to the ground. I'll even show you guys, literally we have players come out and they're hitting dinks like this. And they're reaching all over the place and their heels just glued to the ground. It's kind of if you just get up on your toes a little bit, take a few steps, adjust to the ball, I think that's one thing that every single player under 4-0 just needs to hear. If you just move your feet a little bit, because ideally, if you can just get behind the ball every single time and hit from the same spot relative to your body, every shot's gonna be so much easier. That's why the pros are so consistent, because they move well. They can get behind the ball, they can replicate the shot. And what do you think? What do you see when we're coaching these players out here?
I mean, I think the backswing is a huge part of probably all players' weaknesses, most players' weaknesses under 4-5. The serve is the only shot that we really should be taking a huge backswing on because the time is completely on us. Maybe a third shot drive with a really, really slow return, but the backswing on the dinks, on the volleys, on the drives, on the drops, on the resets, I think is a killer. And one of the beauties of pickleball is it's very, very easy. It's just hard to remember what to do, build that muscle memory, that repetition, that subconscious ability to just do it over and over.
People say it, and I'm sure they say it to you, I've heard this so many times. Oh, I know that, I just have to remember it. Or I've heard that, the problem is remembering. And remember too, Ken Herman, when we were talking to him, said that one of the big differences between the players, more theoretical, between the players that are playing in the main draw pro and the qualies, technique and footwork always sets them apart. Technique, backswing, right, making sure you're keeping that swing nice and compact. Footwork, making sure you're actually moving to the ball and you don't have your heels planted. And I mean, it's just so obvious, especially the amateur levels.
Is there a technical issue you think a lot of players in that 3-0 to 4-0 range really struggle with that could really move them forward if they fixed?
I think probably figuring out what to do with the wrist is a big one, because you get a lot of players that they just don't know what to do. They feel like they should be using their wrist. Some people say don't use your wrist, some people say use your wrist. So they end up just hitting dinks like this where they're flicking all the time, or they're bending their wrist at all and they're hitting everything just like this with a straight arm. And kind of finding that balance. It depends on the shot too. If you're hitting more of a powerful shot, you got to use the wrist a little bit.
We did an interview a while back. It was me, you, and Rich Livernese. We were doing some vertical reel interviews with some pros. I think it was the APP New York City Open. We went up to J.W. Johnson, and I think it was Richard who asked, how do you create all that topspin with your hand? And I mean, he's obviously a huge talker. And so he had a really animated, huge answer. Basically he went, all right, so I just do this. That was it.
I remember that vividly, actually. Yeah, this. Oh yeah, cool, I'll apply that to my game right now.
People see that, or him being a wizard with the topspin, not doing a lot. They see Riley Newman with the pancake. They see some of these things that actually work that those pros should be doing. But I think for most players without extraordinary skill sets, there's a right way to hit most shots, and they
100%.
shouldn't just look at the pros and say, let me do that. Let me just have a Christian Alshon drive because it looks cool. Actually, that's a bad example because I think he's pretty fundamental.
Yeah,
I'd
I'd say
say
so,
a lot of
probably.
the tennis players probably pretty fundamentally sound.
Yeah, I mean, depending, like you mentioned Riley, I mean, obviously, phenomenal player. That technique works for him, you can't copy it, right? There's some pros where they are, and you see it in all sports too, you just can't copy their technique. Like, it works for them, they can do it. I'd say, and Riley was a great tennis player too, and he played college. But yeah, for whatever reason, the technique he developed in pickleball, I'd say, is phenomenal for him, but it's not going to work for most players. But in general, most tennis players on the tour have like strong. If you take like the average of like the guys that played, and women of course that played a high level of tennis, you take like the average, I'd say most of them are very strong fundamentally. You see a lot of the same fundamentals. Like if you take like Ben, James Ignatowicz, Annalie Waters, Anna Bright, you watch them play, they all have a lot of stuff that they do very similar, even though they have very different play styles.
All right, new segment. What coaches get wrong? People may treat PPR certified like DR in the sense of doctor. There's a lot of credibility behind it. Again, we could talk about this forever. We have our own takes. I don't even want to get started on that yet. Tell me a few things, or one thing, whatever your heart desires, what coaches get wrong.
Not knowing how to play pickleball. I
Can
think
you
I said
elaborate?
it. I think a lot of coaches out there, certified coaches, don't really know how to play pickleball.
Wait, but they have a certification.
No, but they don't know how to play pickleball.
But Matt, what I'm saying is they went through the courses. Like they did the test where you have to send in a picture of yourself holding a pickleball paddle and having a heartbeat. They did that. They're
Doesn't
already
mean anything.
certified.
Doesn't mean anything. In our area, there's a certified coach. Guess the lowest that I've seen. Guess the DUPR rating.
I mean, at least the 375 or 40, because that's like,
So that's not even. Hang on, that's not even close.
okay, 3.5, but they can't be giving certifications under 3.5. That would be
They are.
malpractice. I mean, I don't want to be making any accusations to anybody. Nobody sue me.
Lower.
3.25,
Lower.
3.1, 3.0. Stop. This is a serious podcast.
No, there is a certified coach in our area. There's a DUPR under a 3.0.
2.9, 2.8, 2.7.
2.7. There's a certified coach in New Jersey that has a 2.7 DUPR rating. I think DUPR sandbag. DUPR can be a little inaccurate sometimes. If you have a 2.7 DUPR rating, you're a beginner.
Wait, but if you don't know how to play and you teach somebody, especially a beginner or 3.0 and under, that's basically building a lifetime of muscle memory, whose game is going to always rely on the building blocks of what they learn from those coaches, isn't that going to screw up their game for life?
Well, of course. I mean, it's a money grab at the end of the day.
What's a money grab?
Well, getting a certification to be able to cheat people into spending money with you.
Oh, I thought you were talking about tons of millionaires opening facilities when they don't know about pickleball.
Oh, well, don't even start on that. Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of facilities going to be closing pretty soon. I know in other parts of the country, the facilities have started closing down. If you open up a facility and you know anything about pickleball, you just see it as a hot thing to get into. I mean, I don't know.
Isn't like if you open a pickleball facility and put a lot of money into it and then just forget about it, aren't you going to automatically make millions of dollars?
Well, yeah, of course. That's exactly how it works.
Even if like you don't care about pickleball, you don't know about coaching or programming, you're not really in touch with the community, but it's pickleball. If you open a facility, you are going to make millions of dollars no matter what you do.
No, it's free money. It's like Bitcoin in 2010. You know nothing about it, but
Pickleball is
put some money into it. There you go. That's it. Bitcoin in
Pickleball is
2010.
Bitcoin. Just invest money into a facility, put it wherever, and it'll be good. And
Makes total
wait. Say that you're a community. Say that you're not about coaching, but you're a community. Just post it on Instagram and Facebook. That's all you have to do. Don't.
Well, if you open it, they'll come, right? You just open the facility and then they'll come.
I got the producers in my ear right now. This is pretty overwhelming. They're telling me I have to do a plug, so I'm just going to do it. Paddle Gold is set out to be the industry leader in the paddle accessory market. Some of the biggest pro names are involved in this company. We're going to be doing grips, lead tape, edge tape, paddle erasers, and so much more. And look, to be completely honest, I don't know when this is coming out. We're going to launch in the next couple weeks. We may be live. If it's not out yet, just tell your friend about it. Be a part of this with us. All right, literally, this is not some large corporate, nothing. This is us and our love and our team. We also launched the Paddle Project. This is a global nonprofit. We are reaching out to organizations around the world and sending them paddles, nets, advising their community leaders on how to teach pickleball. We're also providing free instruction for players in New Jersey and around the country, facilitating transportation and having facilities run free programming, and even building courts in New Jersey. No sponsors specifically for this podcast, so I guess we'll just sponsor it ourselves. Can we just like put a logo in the bottom of the screen? All right. New segment, play or nay. Everybody wants to play games. You should be drilling more. But those that want to get better, those that say my main priority in pickleball is to get better, you should know drilling is most important. Playing games is important too. I have some personal thoughts on whether or not you should be playing open play with people below your level. Matt, if your goal is to get better, and that is your primary goal, should you be playing open play with people below you, play or nay?
No.
Nay.
It depends. I mean, there's a balance, right? Like if you're playing against someone below you, it's beneficial if you go out there and you really try your best to crush them and you try your best to win every single game, like 11-0, right? Because you go into a tournament, you might have to play someone that's worse than you, and you can't, get all tight because you're playing someone that you can't lose to. But I mean, if you're going out there just for fun, hitting the ball around, you're not really taking it too seriously, which is usually what happens when you're playing against lower level players, then you're definitely not gonna get better doing that. You're also not gonna get better if you're reinforcing skills that you're not gonna use at a higher level. So like, for example, right, if I'm playing against someone that's significantly worse than me, I'm just gonna speed up every ball. I'm never gonna hit a dink. Just not gonna do it. I don't care how low the ball is. I don't care how good of a dink they hit. If I know that they're not gonna return my speed up, why wouldn't I speed up? But if I'm playing against someone my level, I can't do that. I'm gonna get crushed. So there's always some kind of balance. I mean, open play in general, if you wanna get better, at least get some games with like people that are like-minded at your level. But really what you should be doing is drilling, right? You should be, and everyone says that, right? That's the cliche, right? Drill 4 days a week and play 1 day a week or whatever. It depends really, this is the knowledge right here. It depends on what you're working on and what your goals are. If you are already a highly skilled player and you need match toughness, right? Like you want to perform in tournaments, you're 5-0, yeah, play. Like play even half as much. Like you need to be able to use those skills that you're drilling in games, right? So if all I do is drill, and I never play, even if I'm doing perfect with the drills and I'm really building those skills, if you don't play, then you're not really going to be able to learn how to apply them in a match scenario. And at the end of the day, pickleball is matches, it's games, right? So if you're going to compete, you're not competing in drills, you're competing in games. But if you're just playing and you're not drilling, then you're also not going to get better skills. So you're not going to reinforce those skills. And if you are drilling, you need to be drilling the right way and the right things. We see players out here, they're 4-0, they don't want to come to clinics for whatever reason. No, I'm just going to go drill with my friends. And we know they're never going to be better than a 4-0 because when we see them play, and see them drill or see them come out to a clinic, they're like hitting cross-court dinks and not shifting to the middle, or they're drilling like these ridiculous backswings or like ridiculous follow-throughs. It's like, no matter how much you drill, if you're drilling the wrong thing, like you're gonna be stuck. It's like really a multifaceted thing, like drilling versus playing. If you're gonna drill, you gotta drill the right way. If you're playing, you gotta play the right way. And you can do both, but you need intention and purpose behind it.
New segment called Do You Really Want It? A lot of people say their main goal is to get better, and that's their primary ambition in pickleball, and yet they're not drilling 2 times a week. They're not at least 1 time a week training in a clinic or private lesson environment with a good coach. They might just be drilling on their own, not really having any focus. When people say, I want to be a pro, or I want to get really good, but they're not drilling or they're not training, do they really want it?
I think one of the most ridiculous things is when I go on Instagram and someone has aspiring pro player in their bio. I think that's the first sign that maybe you don't really want it. Look, if you want to be a pro player, and you want to say you're a pro player, then you got to train like it. I mean, take a pro player in any other sport. They got coaches. They're taking their fitness seriously. They're taking their nutrition seriously. They're drilling. They're playing a little bit. They're getting competition in. They're traveling to all these tournaments. 2 days a week's not going to cut it. Yeah, it's got to be intense. It's got to be high energy. You got to take that fitness and nutrition seriously. A lot of people don't take that seriously. Like when we see people come out and they say they want to get better, Whether you're a 3-0, 4-0, or 5-0, and their heels are glued to the ground every time when they play, or they're not shifting towards the middle when they hit a cross-court dink in the warm-up, I don't know if you really want it.
Let's give a little background. So Matt and I met in middle school, grew up in Montclair, New Jersey. Been playing tennis since middle school, high-level tennis players. A friend of mine I met first night of club tennis at the University of Maryland. You know, just playing club tennis, met a kid named Ben. We became good friends playing ping pong. And a couple months into school, he said, hey, you should try pickleball. I got pretty good. And I was like, nah, sounds weird. And then a year later, I read this Washington Post article, and I realized my friend Ben Johns, #1 in the world, pickleball player. So what is going on here? And I just still didn't pick up a paddle until really Matt and I tried it together after we graduated. Immediately fell in love with it. We started teaching pickleball clinics under our tennis academy. So we eventually branched off First Serve Tennis to create Montclair Pickleball, our own pickleball academy. We said, let's do something bigger, you know, or sort of something that can help grow the sport on a more national, maybe global scale. So we started the Pickleball Clinic, a place where everyone could just communicate. It was a Facebook group, brought a lot of good pros into the group, and then built a whole suite of social media platforms, a newsletter. And since then, we sort of had this, not awakening, but we realized there's just so many other opportunities out there. Last segment, truth or dink. Now, we're thinking about what can we do differently, what's different about us and the other podcasts out there. I think we might be the only or one of the only podcasts where both the players, both the people doing it are 5-0 plus players.
Both probably, yeah, I think so. Actually, I can't think of anywhere both are.
I think maybe Joe Braverman and Scott Crandall do one together, but I mean, there's definitely 5-0 paddle reviewers that do them together. So
I know they were 5-0 paddle reviewers.
like they're the 5-0 of paddle reviewers that do them together. They like get like 7 or 8 of them like in like one podcast, and they just all talk about.
So a lot of the paddle reviewers aren't 5-0.
No. But I'm saying they're high-level paddle reviewers.
I got you. Yeah, so if we rated them on their paddle reviewing skills, they'd be 5-0.
They're 5-0 paddle reviewers. They're not 5-0 paddle reviewers.
I got you. They're 5-0 paddle reviewers.
Depending on how you say it. All right, anyway, truth or dink. We're gonna play skinny singles. That is not a offensive term. That is a style of pickleball where you can practice doubles, full court with 2 people. And if you win a point, you basically switch sides of the court. Whoever loses has to answer a question from the other person that they have no idea about, and you have to answer no matter what. So I'm gonna ask you about your sex life.
Cool. All right.
If that's okay, if I win. Just kidding. All right, I'm serving first this time. Next podcast, you serve first. Unless we have our special guest with us. 0-0.
All right, zeros.
Idiot.
1-0. Oh, too good.
0-1.
Play.
No curse. Blur that out. I don't want to get censored by YouTube.
1-0.
Ah!
I'm running away with it here.
Game 5, right?
Game 5? What's in it for me if I make it game 5?
2 questions.
2-0.
Oh. 2 if you win, 1 if I win. 0-2. Stink!
2-0.
Feet were on the line. We're in the kitchen.
All right, well, it's a good thing it's on film.
Forget it.
3-0. Oh, that's so dumb.
0-3. Ah!
3-0.
Oh! Yo, this is bull.
4-0. All right, so I won that little mini game of skinny single, so I'm gonna ask Aaron a really tough question right now.
He was on the line on one of the points.
We'll review the film after. He's a business guy, right? So Aaron, if someone came to you and said, I'm gonna make a new pickleball, right, a ball. I'm gonna make a new ball. I'm gonna start a ball company. It's gonna be the best ball company. Everyone's gonna play with it. What would you say to them?
You're crazy. That market is too saturated by now. I think unless you have a really creative, super unique marketing perspective or new marketing channel or a proprietary technology, I wouldn't do it.
All right, second question. What's the worst overgrip that you've ever played with? There's a lot of overgrips out there. It's hard to choose.
I would say the enemy of, I would say if you have an overgrip and you're a pickleball player, you win. Because 90% of pickleball players have no overgrip. So the worst that I've seen is no overgrip, which is way, way too common. Just get an overgrip. I don't care which one it is. I do care. Get ours. It's amazing. But just get an overgrip. That's all I'm saying.